Okay guys, this last week Miss Callan and I are just kind of reading some silly books and asking you some questions just so we can maybe read some books that we didn't get to read you in class that we really wanted to. This one I picked out way back in October at the book fair and I've always wanted to read it. It's called Norman, the Slug with the Silly Shell. He's got a donut for a shell. There's my title page. All right, let's see what's going on with Norman. Norman the Slug thought snails were great. Wow, said Norman. Look at them. They're amazing. But unfortunately, the snails didn't think Norman was great. Whee! Crash! Norman, you silly slug, they cried. You've spoiled our fun. This only works if you've got a shell. Norman felt left out. Sadly, he skulked off into the moonlight. If only I had a shell of my own, he sighed, looking at his reflection. And that's when he had an idea. Maybe I could have a shell after all, he thought. See, down in his reflection, it looks like the moon is his shell. But finding a shell was not as easy as it seemed. One was too bouncy. He tried a tennis ball. One was too noisy. The alarm clock. And one was already taken. Look, he tried an apple, but there was already a worm in it. Norman needed time to think. Ta-da! A shell! It was perfect. Norman had never been happier. He could join the snails at last. Norman loved being a snail, and the snails loved Norman's silly shell. But the fun didn't last for long. Suddenly, there was a loud flapping of wings. Look out, bird! Cried the snails in panic. Quick, slither for your lives, or we'll end up as supper. But the bird was more interested in Norman's silly shell. It looked delicious. Norman was being carried up, up, and away, higher and higher into the sky. What could he do? Norman did the only thing a slug could do. He made slime, lots and lots of it. With a slither and a slother, a slip and a slide, Norman was free. But he was falling faster and faster and faster until... Plonk. Norman, are you okay? Asked the snails. Wow, said Norman, that was great. I love flying. If only I had wings. Ta-da! He used a pair of underwear. That's just silly. All right, that's the end of my story. What I want you to do is think long and hard. First, Norman wanted a shell so he could be like a snail. Then he wanted wings so he could be like a bird. So you have to choose. Would you rather have a shell and be like a snail or have wings and be like a bird? But you have to tell me why you want to be the snail or why you want to be the bird. Good luck, guys.